There's a Georgia island with no cars, no paved roads, 150 wild horses, and the skeletal ruins of a Carnegie mansion. And most people have never heard of it. Cumberland Island is Georgia's largest barrier island and one of the most unusual units in the national park system. 90% of it is protected as a national seashore. 17 miles of Atlantic beach, almost none of it developed. Wild horses that have roamed this island since 1742, a population now numbering over 150 that has gone fully feral over generations. The ruins of Dungeness, the Carnegie family's 40-room Scottish castle mansion, standing open to the sky since a fire gutted it in 1959. JFK Jr. married Carolyn Bassett at the tiny First African Baptist Church on the island's north end in October 1996. The only way in is by ferry. Thomas Carnegie, the younger brother and business partner of steel magnate Andrew Carnegie, purchased most of the island in 1882 and began building Dungeness on the site of an earlier estate. His wife, Lucy, eventually owned 90% of the island and built 4 mansions total for their family. By the time the federal government began acquiring the land for the National Seashore designation in 1972, the Carnegie legacy had shaped nearly every structure on the island. Getting there starts in St. Mary's, Georgia, a small waterfront town worth a look on its own. The Cumberland Island Ferry runs daily from March through November, Thursday through Monday, December through February. Round-trip tickets are $44 for adults, $42 for seniors. The park charges a separate $15 entrance fee per person ages 16 and up. Book at cumberlandtosellandferry.com. Reservations are strongly recommended. The ferry runs from St. Mary's, Georgia. The town's historic waterfront district has a good restaurant strip and makes a logical overnight base before an early departure. If you're new here, hit that like and subscribe button. I'm working through all 50 states from completely free to absolute luxury, and you'll want to be along for the ride. Over at theearnesttraveler.com, I've got a free ultimate adventure planner, budget calculators, packing checklists, the whole thing. Links in the description. The complete travel guide for this video is down there too, with everything we cover in one spot. Stick around to the end. I'll tell you my single favorite pick from this whole video, the one I'd put at the top of my list if it were my trip. The budget experience on Cumberland Island is camping, and it's one of the better values in the national park system. Sea Camp Campground, closest to the ferry dock, has designated sites with picnic tables, fire rings, and hot water showers and flush toilets. Real facilities, half a mile from the dock, surrounded by the sounds of the island at night. Camping fees are $4 per person per night, on top of the ferry and park entrance fee. For 2 people spending 2 nights, expect total costs around $200 once you add it all up. Reserve at recreation.gov or call 912-882-4336. Sea Camp books fast in summer and fall. For those who want the wilderness experience, 3 backcountry campgrounds, Hickory Hill, Yankee Paradise, and Brick Hill Bluff, require hiking in, have no facilities, and put you genuinely alone on the island with the horses and the birds. Each requires the same camping permit and $4 per person nightly fee. Bring your own food. There are no restaurants, no concession stands, and no services once you're across the water. Pack a full lunch, carry more water than you think you need, and plan for a complete day on your feet. The ferry takes 45 minutes each way, and the last boat back departs in late afternoon. Check cumberlandislandferry.com for the current schedule. It varies by season. St. Mary's itself makes an excellent overnight base before a day trip. The waterfront has solid restaurants in the $50 to $80 range, and budget motels start well under $100 per night. The island has no food service, no concession stands, and no shade structures beyond the tree canopy. Pack everything you need for the day: food, water, sunscreen, and good walking shoes. The ferry schedule determines your day. Arriving on the first boat and leaving on the last gives you the most time, including the late afternoon hours when the horses move toward the southern ruins area. The mid-range approach to Cumberland Island is about spending more time on it, and on it well. Most day trippers walk to the Dungeness Ruins and the beach, spend 3 hours and catch the return ferry. That's fine, but it misses most of the island. The live oak hammock forests in the interior, the freshwater ponds, the Plum Orchard mansion area on the north end, 5 miles from the ferry dock, the wild silence that the day trippers never find because they turn around too early, A proper mid-range visit means either 2 separate day trips or an overnight camping stay, planned around where the horses are most likely to be at dawn. The NPS offers guided tours of Plum Orchard, the best-preserved Carnegie mansion on the island, a Georgian revival estate from 1898 with original furnishings, managed by the Park Service. Check NPS Gov CUIs for current tour schedules and booking before you plan. Combining a Plum Orchard tour with a full-day beach walk along the 17-mile Atlantic shoreline is a complete 2-part itinerary. On the mainland, St. Mary's has several well-reviewed B&Bs and small inns in the $100 to $175 per night range. The Riverview Hotel on the waterfront puts you steps from the ferry dock for an early morning departure. A 2-day Cumberland trip, full day on the island, overnight on the mainland, is the right amount of time to do this place properly. For those who want a naturalist guide without the Greyfield price, the park ranger programs run intermittently during peak season and are free with park admission. Check NPS Gov CUIs for the current ranger program schedule before booking your ferry. The island's birdwatching is exceptional. Painted buntings in the maritime forest, brown pelicans along the shore, bald eagles overhead, and wood storks in the freshwater ponds. A pair of binoculars is the best investment for a Cumberland Island visit regardless of your budget tier. There is one accommodation on Cumberland Island. 1. Greyfield Inn is a Carnegie-era estate turned all-inclusive inn on the south end of the island. 9 rooms and 6 cottage rooms, 15 guests maximum at any time. Rates run from $995 to $1,350 per night, with a 2-night minimum and 3-night minimum during holidays. Everything is included. All meals cooked from scratch, all activities, guided naturalist tours, gear, and private ferry transportation from Fernandina Beach, Florida. The inn has been open since 1962. Originally built by the Carnegie family for their daughter Margaret, it still operates with the original furnishings and a pace that the rest of the world has largely forgotten. What the rate buys is rare. An inn where your fellow guests number in the teens, the island is yours after the day trippers leave, and the beach in front of you at 7 in the morning has no footprints in either direction. The Greyfield naturalist guides know where the horses bed at night and when to start walking toward them. Reserve at greyfieldinn.com or call 904-261-6408. The Greyfield experience is not about amenities in the conventional sense. There is no spa, no fitness center, no swim-up bar. What it offers is undivided attention from staff who know this island the way few people anywhere know a place. Access to parts of Cumberland that day visitors never reach, and the particular quiet that comes from being somewhere genuinely difficult to get to and deliberately limited in capacity. For the right traveler, that is irreplaceable. And that pick I promised you, the Dungeness Ruins at dawn, before the ferry brings anyone else across. Wild horses move through the skeletal walls of what was once one of the grandest private estates in the American South. The moss hangs still over the live oak road. That's the one I'd put at the top of my list. Ferry ticket and a morning or a week at Greyfield. Which end sounds like your trip? Drop it in the comments. Next up, Georgia's second set of hidden gems. A driftwood beach, a blackwater swamp, and waterfalls you've never heard of. That's Friday.